It's John. Hello. Good afternoon. Good day, everybody. We're getting started here just a little bit ahead. Obviously, as you can see, we've got about 12-ish minutes or so before the actual Magic debut begins itself. But that gives I've got my coffee. I've got my coffee ready to go. So we are set. We are ready. So how is Unk today? Do you want to pop a Discord link in there for me? That'd be super helpful. Thank you. So yeah, Lorwyn Eclipsed. We're finally here. The long-awaited, anticipated return set. And this is exciting. I'm really looking forward to everything we're going to see today. Now, your box leak that popped up overnight, and I've done my absolute darnest to avoid all of those. Reddit is a really terrible place to try to avoid spoilers, so I tried to stay off of that for most of the day. Presented what we have today. Time to see how much my pod is gonna hate me in the blight mechanic. Welcome to the stream, Roshan. I'm curious to see how it works. It's going to be very cool. We've seen from the Earth has to do a blight, but then also you can blight. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kinds of cards they can offer, especially in Hour of Devastation. There were cards that both made you put minus counters on your creatures. Really strong, just that whole minus counter synergy, but then also the cards who care about the negative counters being placed onto them, or just counters in general being removed from them. -1 counters is very, very cool mechanic to play around with in that regard. So we're gonna see. Interesting being I suppose so. There's probably some shenanigans there with maybe giving yourself hexproof, and then all of that is mitigated. There could also be some interesting play with when you do blight on yourself. If you're playing around, you could take cards that come with inherent downsides and potentially turn that into upside, you know? So, like, if we get, like, some, like, we could get some very neat, like, tricky, large creatures for cheap mana cost, you know? I'm very excited to see what that... I don't... Like, from Lorwyn as a whole, I would say maybe Tree Folk are probably some of my favorite, and those are all fantastic coming from a set like this, but... You know, something so, like, drawing to the sort of niche corner case creature types, you know, the tree folks, the giants, the Kithkins, things of that nature. Changelings even as well. I'm really stoked to see what kind of changeling support we get to see here today. But yeah, we still got like 7-ish minutes, it says there, 7-10 minutes or so. So, you know, everybody kick back, relax for just a little while. Please feel free to ask anything you want to talk about, and then we will dive into the video. The way I plan to go about doing this is we will be watching through anything that looks super interesting, talk about it, see what's kind of cool. About an hour or so, I'm sort of thinking, and then that'll be it for today. Make sure that's off. Good. Spent all good stuff. And now we're back, and it's magic time. I'm curious about how the feedback, as far as like how let's turn that down just a little bit. They're going to take the feedback as to how a week-long preview season actually goes. I don't know. I feel conflicted about it, honestly, because, like, on the one hand, that's less amount of time that you have to tell a player that, hey, you got to be watching online every available to see come Friday. It just, I don't know. Maybe that feels maybe a little too quick. I think there maybe needs to be like a middle ground, like to digest all of that, and then come their next, like, say, Tuesday live stream that they do, the site Magic, maybe be a good middle ground. I'm not sure really what the answer is though. Guess we'll have to see, because we're also going to get commander cards in and amongst all that as far as spoilers is concerned. We're going to get the booster set, all of the sort of like booster fun treatments and special styles that the set is going to have to offer, and potentially the commander stuff as well. Bobby's here. Hey, John. Hello. Welcome to the chat room. Good. Bobbert. Sorry, excuse me. Hello, Bobbert. Good to see you. Welcome to the chat. Excited for Lorwyn? Be very fun and cool. Here's what my expectation is out of this. If they have managed to accomplish Dynasty, for those who may not have played that, Neon Dynasty is a landmark of a booster set. It was peak Magic. There was just so much excitement and cool innovation that they were able to do in that. So if they have been able to accomplish a feat similar to that with this set, it is going to go down quite well. Thank you for the exclusion. You are incredibly hyped for Lorwyn. Fish is here as well. Welcome. You guys, I'm not a professional streamer by any means. And if you don't like my commentary, please feel free to hop over to the Magic's main stream itself. About 2 minutes till premiere time. Man, I'm very excited to see what comes out of that Elementals. We're actually really cool. Thanks, Bobbert. Appreciate that. 60 seconds. It's like New Year's Eve all over again, but just waiting on a video. Joseph banished them to the Shadow Realm. I sent... I didn't actually know you were planning on hanging out the whole time, Joseph, so appreciate that. Thanks. Stream keeps buffering? Oh, no. I think it's me. Hold on. I think it is me. I remember this. Okay. Bring that down a little. Okay, I should be live again. Can anybody let me know, make sure I'm actually live? It hasn't buffered yet. Yeah, I think I knew exactly what the issue was. I had a setting on my end incorrectly adjusted. So if I can have anybody who's still hanging out, if I can have you, just let me know how things are looking. Yeah, looking Gucci. Joseph says I'm looking Gucci. Anybody else back you up? We're back. Yay. Good. Excellent. Okay. I know what the setting was that I did incorrectly. I knew exactly how to fix it because this had happened a number of streams ago. We are all set. And seems good now? Excellent. Thank you all. Gucci even down to the socks? I actually am still wearing socks right now. I don't normally when I'm behind the desk, but awesome. Back right on time. Anybody let me know? I know it's kind of, this is just YouTube's own thing right now, so just anybody let me know over the course of the stream if anything is too loud or too quiet. Please let me know. And we can adjust accordingly. 0. What a flashy countdown thing that they used this year, or this time. Magic, the Gathering. Oh, this is the puppets thing. That's right. Look. What is this? Eat the slug. Oh, I wanted him to eat it. That's so clever. He looks like a video volume. You
another day in Lorwyn.
This is great.
Steal a baby or two from a kitten. There's some ratings for an hour or 4.
Are these supposed to be the goblins? What is this?
Just another night in Shadowmoor. But what bones do they crush? What kind of breakfast mush?
Oh, that's right, because the whole... sorry, I won't.
Other side, other side, other side. Shred it, Greg. One light,
This is nonsense. What is happening?
but somehow in our
I'm worried of this getting copyright struck.
I'd run through fields where flowers bloom and sniff them all to death. Then gaze straight into the
You know what? I appreciate the craftsmanship here, but, like, this is kind of cringy.
I'd brave the darkest depths, feeling free. Anarchy so much fun.
It won't get copyright struck. I'm hoping not.
One dark, two worlds will
I'm gonna go... It's maybe a little loud. Turn it down a smidge.
dreams we share the sky.
Volume up a little. Okay, all right. Up we go. There you are.
I go higher and
Welcome to the chat, Daniel.
lower and lower and lower. Higher and higher and higher.
Dark Crystal 2, Lorwyn Edition. I love it. How about... How about there?
But somehow in our dreams we share the sky.
Here, let's do that.
Dark stars, bright sun,
All right, let's try it around with that.
feels undone until the day the two collide. Would the sun blind me or make me whole? Would the dark consume or show my soul? And how will I ever see the other side of me? What if I never get to be completely me?
That was beautiful, Squid.
Thanks, Moira. Good night, Shadowmoor.
Greg, it's always night in Shadowmoor.
Shut up, Snake!
Shut up, Snake! Wow. You know what? Beautiful craftsmanship. That was terribly cringe. They're gonna kiss. What if we kissed in
Welcome
Morning
back
Tide?
to a familiar plane, one with 2 unique versions of itself. This set is a return to Lorwyn and
That was
Shadowmoor.
so good. I'm so glad
These
you
two
all were
form
here
a
for that.
dual-aspect plane where night and day exist side by side. Lorwyn is the day aspect, brimming with whimsy and color. The other aspect is Shadowmoor, a chaotic and wild area of never-ending night. These previously separated sides now coexist at the same time.
Yeah, the
But
Morning
their
Tide
borders
thing, or
constantly
like the,
expand and shrink.
you know, the light
Massive
and day
zones
kind
of
of
day
shuffle
and
from
night
side to
shift
side
across the plane.
now.
Any creature that moves between them will be transformed into alternate versions of themselves, while retaining only some memories of their time on the other side.
Oh, that card they're called
And
Risk
where
the
these
Evermore.
zones
Did y'all see
collide,
that?
new
That was cool.
dusk realms have emerged that are neither
Morning Tide's
fully in
Light, that
Lorwyn
one's gonna be a very
or
sick card.
Shadowmoor. Lorwyn Eclipsed includes iconic creature types from previous
Could you
Lorwyn and
imagine
Shadowmoor
bringing back
sets.
Night Day?
Pick
Nope,
your
never
favorites
again.
and play as a cunning goblin, or a haughty elf, or a loyal Kithkin.
A haughty
Each of these
elf.
card types is reimagined with an updated visual spin, while honoring the beloved traditional art
Changelings!
style that came before.
Look at this. Like, look at this
Elves
piece
were
of
once
art.
the rulers of Lorwyn,
Champions of the
focused
perfect.
on elevating beauty at any cost.
Beholds an elf.
But with the planes merged, their
When you
power
cast-
has waned.
Excuse me,
and their
that's a
attitudes
4-mana
have softened.
6/6 that does
Slightly.
Beast
The
Beast
Shadowmoor
Whisperer?
elves' dedication
Nice.
to beauty has only been strengthened by their diminished territory. They will risk everything to maintain their small enclaves and catalog new forms of beauty where they find them.
The beautiful
The
elves,
merfolk
love
of
that.
Lorwyn are
Deepway
haughty and
Navigator.
elitist, viewing themselves
Flash,
as a cut
enters,
above
untap
any other
each other
creatures,
merfolk you control.
including their brethren
As long
from
as you attack
Shadowmoor.
with 3 or more
More
merfolk, it does a
duplicitous than
thing.
their
Cool.
Lorwyn counterparts.
We will
the
again, we
merfolk
will
of
double back to
Shadowmoor
cards
seek
if they go
wealth
too
through
fast.
any means necessary,
We will double back on
The
everything later.
goblins of Lorwyn Eclipsed are known as boggards
Can't
on
be
this
countered.
plane.
Spells you
On the
control
Lorwyn
can't be
side,
countered.
They are insatiably
Other
curious,
creatures have ward pay 2
sometimes to their
life.
detriment. But those that aren't doomed by their own curiosity
Hawkball's
grow
nuts.
into
I think the card
powerful,
was
magical
blue-white, so it
creatures
probably wouldn't go in
referred to
Hawkball.
as aunties, who pass on wisdom and provide leadership to their tribes. The goblins of Shadowmoor aren't driven by curiosity so much as vengeance and spite. Their aunties
Look at
are
these little
often
freaks.
loners. Rather than helping their communities, they strike out on their own.
Oh, I like this
and are
goat-headed one.
volatile
That
and
one's sick.
chaotic. Kithkin are a group of pastoral
binding.
farmers who value the bonds of the collective over everything else. Though individually they may be small, working together allows them to accomplish much, and they are not opposed to letting different creatures joining their group. However,
Oh
in
man,
Shadowmoor,
that enchantment
the
with
Kithkin have turned their sense of community inward and
crap,
given in
what's
to
the-
paranoia.
Joseph's favorite
They
Boros
erect
blinky thing. They
fortresses
all
and
come in
use
with
their
haste
unity
and then
to
get
repel
plus
all
X equal to the
outsiders.
number that came in.
Fairies are tiny pranksters,
Glenelendre's
wielding
answer.
illusion
Spell can't be
magic to
countered.
cause
Counter all
mischief.
spells your opponents
They are
control and all
fiercely
abilities.
protective of their
Make a
home
blue fairy,
Glenelendra,
blue black
the
fairy.
narrow valley in the mountains protected
each
by
spell or ability
enchanted
countered this
and
way.
powerful fae. Remarkably
Nahiri's
similar
resolve.
between night and day.
Yeah, Nahiri's
they
resolve.
aren't
Thank
to
you.
be underestimated in Lorwyn or Shadowmoor.
And Bitter Bloom Bearer, we saw that a
Lorwyn
while
Eclipsed
ago.
features returning
Rhys.
characters as well as new
Another
ones.
target creature you control gains
Rhys is
persist
the
until end
former,
of turn.
an elven
And
hunter.
remove any number of
He
counters
was
from
trained
target
in
creature.
poison magic
Activate
by
only
the
as a
tree
sorcery.
folk.
Whoa!
This mere mortal stalks Shadowmoor,
Look at this
seeking
dude.
danger and thrills to occupy
He's ready
his
to pull
time.
off finality counters
Tristan
like a
is a new
heartbeat.
face, an elf raised on stories of great times
Death
long
touch
gone.
or
Though frail,
transforms.
Tristan's role as horticulturist and poison master for the
Gains
tyrant
life.
Morkant makes them quite a threat.
And this is part of a cycle of
Tristan
cards.
may
They all
not
have
like
the
serving
transformable
Morkant,
front sides.
but
and
in
you
this
can pay
new
a
and
color
more
at your main
chaotic
phase.
world, they don't have much of a choice.
Mill 3, can
But
exile an
Tristan
elf from the
dreams of a world
graveyard.
where they, not
Yeah, that's cool.
Morkant, lead the elves back to their former glory. Oko is a dangerous,
Hey, look at this
shape-shifting
friend.
planeswalker with a checkered yet mysterious past.
A planeswalker
Those
with
who have
transform?
crossed his path have often wondered where this
Shadowmoor
clever
Scion.
and dangerous
Mill
force of
3
nature
card.
came from. His
Oh,
mysterious
jeez.
origins
Okay,
are
this is way
revealed
too
in
much to
this
catch
set
with him all
as
at
he
once.
returns to his home plane.
We'll
But
be
after
we'll double
sparking
back to
turmoil
Oko
across the
a little later.
multiverse, his reasons for returning home remain unknown. As
But he's
Lorwyn
green
and
and blue.
Shadowmoor struggle
Green, blue,
between order and
transformable
chaos,
Oko. Interesting.
Oko might just be the thing that tips the balance.
Gains all creature types I
This
saw
set
there.
features the return of the familiar giants from the original Lorwyn.
Enters each creature
They are
target
as
opponent
wise as
controls,
they are
loses all
massive,
abilities, becomes a
and
coward
can
in
often be
addition to
found
other types
settling
and get base
disputes
power
from
and
those
toughness
smaller than
1/1.
themselves.
Amazing.
But don't underestimate them in battle.
That doesn't check
In
for
addition
cast,
to
by
the
way.
return of the giants, there are also familiar and refreshed mechanics, like Behold. To behold a creature, either choose a creature you control of the same type, or reveal a creature of that type from your hand. Then trigger the related effect. Convoke is another returning mechanic, one
Hey,
which
Convoke.
allows you to tap creatures rather than
When
pay
creature
some of the
enters,
mana
return up
cost
to one
of a
other
spell.
target non-permanent
Each
to the
creature
owner's
that is
hand.
tapped pays for either one
Crescendo.
or one mana
Choose
of the
creature
creature's
type, draw a
colors.
card for each permanent you control of that type.
With
Oh,
Evoke,
that was
you can pay an alternative cost
was
for
distant
a creature
melody.
spell,
This
allowing
thing is
you
a
to gain its
dog!
enter the battlefield effects for that card at a discount. However,
red,
if
3
the
to any
evoke cost
target,
is paid,
green,
the creature
search
is
for a land,
sacrificed
put
when
it into your
enters.
hand and shuffle. Huh!
Kindred share the same set of subtypes
Elemental
as creature
dog.
cards. This allows cards referring to specific creature types to interact
Against
with
target
kindred
goblin,
spells and permanents.
creatures target player controls
If
get
they
1/1
have the
in
relevant
haste.
creature types.
Destroy target artifact create. Okay.
Lorwyn Eclipsed also includes new mechanics like Vivid,
Vivid.
which enables you to count the colors among your
X.
permanents for scaling effects. Explosive Prodigy can do X damage, where X is
5
the number
colors,
of colors
slot
among
payoff.
permanents that
Let's
you control and have
go!
counted using Vivid. Or Blight. With this mechanic, you can put a -1/-1 counter on your creatures as a cost. Using Dream Caesar's Blight mechanic, you can put a -1/-1 counter
Oh, so,
on
okay,
a
so
creature
this
you
is where that
control
art came
in
from.
order to
We were
force
thinking
each
this
of your
was
opponents to
Thoughtseize, but it's
discard a
not.
card.
That's too
Lorwyn
bad.
Eclipsed features 2 commander
Oh,
decks.
here we go. Commander
each of which
deck.
contains 12 new cards. Dance of the Elements is a 5-color elemental deck featuring creatures with powerful
elementals
enter the
you cast from
battlefield
hand have
abilities.
evoke.
Ashling was first seen in original Lorwyn. She is representative of the
Sacrifice
Flamekin,
non-token.
a race of elementals formed of fire and stone.
So
Here she
these
wields
were-
the new strength of her people, who have
Yeah,
emerged
so
into the
these were
freshly united
accidentally
plane with
spoiled a
greater
number of
abilities
weeks
than
ago.
before. Blight Curse is a deck that allows the player to
these
experience
look
the
very
blight
exciting.
of Shadowmoor firsthand. This deck is powered by the Blight mechanic. Auntie Ool is a terrifying goblin from Shadowmoor,
Ugh, she's got, like,
who
spider
occupies
webs
a
on her
twig
staff.
hut that moves around on frog legs. As
Yucky.
vindictive as she is powerful, Auntie Ool prides herself on the creative curses she places on anyone who crosses her. While magic artwork has
Yeah,
always
no
been
real
handmade
precons in a
using
hot minute, so
digital
it's
or
very
physical
exciting to see them
mediums,
again.
Lorwyn Eclipsed showcases the importance of traditional artwork, which makes up a majority of the set.
God,
Many
look
artists
at
from
all
the
of this
original
art.
Lorwyn and Shadowmoor sets have returned to these familiar planes for Lorwyn Eclipsed, bringing with them experience and new ideas. Several of those artists documented their process, including Iris Compete, Scott Fisher, Paolo Parente, Jesper Ising, Annie Stegg, and Rebecca Gay.
Yes,
Stay tuned
sir.
to see more of what it took to bring these incredible visuals to life. Rebecca Gay painted this headliner card,
Oh.
Bitter Bloom Bear, in a borderless frame. Available
Bless
in a
our
series
souls
of
with
only
new Rebecca
500,
Gay art.
it is the perfect celebration of the classic style that Lorwyn Eclipse embraces. 50 cards in the set were created in the Fable frame style, a classic and hand-drawn treatment.
Sorry,
mirroring
is that
the
thing
set's
called
aesthetic.
Meek Attack?
These Fable frame
Joseph,
cards
new
harken
sneak
back
attack?
to
Hold
traditional
up.
bedtime story illustrations, fitting the sometimes whimsical and
Bloom
sometimes
Tender.
dark nature
Bloom
of
Tender
Lorwyn
rebrand.
and Shadowmoor. They can be found in play
Let's
and
go.
collector boosters. Borderless cards in Lorwyn Eclipsed also feature returning
no.
artists who worked on the original Lorwyn and Shadowmoor sets,
It's Oko
showcasing
again, and he's
traditional
hot.
illustrations in a borderless frame. Calling back to compositions from the older sets, these cards feature extreme frame breaking to bring new life to these favorite planes. This
Oh, this is
special
sick,
treatment
guys.
of 20
I don't know
cards
what
can
to
be
tell
found
ya.
in play and collector boosters. Japan Showcase cards showcase handcrafted
Yeah, there it is. Look at
Japanese
that.
art
Meek Attack.
that complements the folksy
Creature
setting
card,
of
total
Lorwyn
power,
and
toughness
Shadowmoor.
5 or less from your hand
These
onto the
10
battlefield.
cards can be
Gains
found in
haste.
collector boosters.
Sack it. Yep.
The Japan Showcase cards also come in a stunning fracture foil treatment.
Chase out here,
Lorwyn
all about the
Eclipse
fracture
also
foil.
features 5 borderless
Shocklands.
reversible shocklands, completing the full
sir.
cycle of shocklands from Edge of Eternities. These double-sided cards come in foil and non-foil and can be found in play and collector boosters. Lorwyn Eclipse special guest cards feature a new and
Look
unique
at
paper cut
that.
design applied to some favorite characters. These are 20 cards in this style,
Painter
split
Servant.
evenly between Lorwyn and Shadowmoor.
On the special guest.
Non-foil versions can be found in play boosters, while
Yes!
foil versions are available in collector boosters. And finally, Harmonized Crescendo shines in any deck built around a shared creature type, drawing
This is
new
the buy a
cards
box
for each
promo.
creature you control of that kind. This special treatment is available
I love
exclusively
this. Look
in
at
Buy a
this.
Box
Convoke
promos.
distant
Kin
melodies.
binding is a powerful addition to
I'm
any creature-heavy
in.
deck.
I'm in,
Not
gang.
only does it give you a Kithkin each turn, but it makes all of your creatures stronger. This treatment can be
Can we
found
get a
as
Jim
a bundle
Henson
promo.
card? Maybe. A secret layer, perhaps?
You don't need to wait until the official release date to start exploring Lorwyn and Shadowmoor. Tune in on January 14th for MTG Arena Early Access to see Lorwyn Eclipsed in action for the first time. Then, starting the weekend of January 16th, you can play
Pre-release.
early at your local
Yes,
game store
I'm
for
attending.
pre-release.
I'm going to
This
pre-release,
set
baby.
will also be available on MTG Arena on January 20th. Otherwise, get ready to enter into Lorwyn and Shadowmoor on
Brother,
January
may I have some
23rd,
Kithkin?
when Lorwyn Eclipsed will be available everywhere. Whether you gravitate towards day or night, prefer Lorwyn or Shadowmoor, or find yourself in a dusk realm somewhere in between, this set promises an adventure full of duality
Run
and
away together.
fun.
We're going to see that card again. Whew. Yes, Joseph's got it exactly. Yeah, this is the beginning debut preview thing, and now the schedule will be for the remainder of the week, actual content creators, social media posts, whatever, more previews outside of what we saw here are going to continue on. But yeah, that Oh, man. Fellas, gang, what are we thinking? So let's backtrack. I'm going to go ahead and mute that. Let's go ahead, go back through. I guess, all right. Let's talk about this. I mean, what a decision to go with Jim Henson Creation to create this promotional video for this. Ooh. Oh, he's looking right into your soul. But that was very clever. This was very clever. I didn't like it, but you know what? That was horrid. It was scary on purpose. We know that. So, all right, let's pull up a card. Bam. So, Champions of the Perfect. 3 green. It's a 6/6. So you have to behold an elf. So either exiling an elf you control or revealing or exiling one from your hand. When you cast a creature, draw a card. And when it leaves, you get the exiled card back to its owner's hand. So this ability is callback to Champion from and actually that is in the name, as a matter of fact. It champions a creature of the specific type. I think, did we not see Behold in Tarkir Dragonstorm? I'm pretty sure there was Behold a Dragon from, like, I think the Sarkin did that. So, but yeah, so this is interesting. So if you have an elf to throw into this, you get Beast Whisperer as a 6/6, which is interesting. That's very cool. I guess you kind of have to be hyper specific to elves, I suppose. Elves are changelings, so I don't know if this is maybe better or worse than Beast Whisperer, but it definitely could be interesting. At the very minimum, it's Beast Whisperer 2 for the elf decks. Very cool. Let's see here. Let's jump ahead. Deepway Navigator. White blue, flash, 2/2. Enters, you untap each other merfolk you control, and as long as you attacked with 3 or more merfolk you control get 1/0. That seems fine, I guess. Swing in with merfolk, and then this comes in during the combat step, and they get to untap, so they kind of have vigilance as well. That's neat. We'll have to see who ends up making blue-white merfolk deck out of this set. Hexing Squelcher, 1 and a red, 2/2. Spell can't be countered. Ward, pay 2 life. And spells you control can't be countered, and other creatures have ward, pay 2 life. This reminds me of Spider-Punk a little bit. Just a cheap mono red, like, stops everything from imagine paired with Spider-Punk, right? Like, Punk says that they can't be countered, damage can't be prevented, and then this also says that your spells can't be countered, and then they all have ward as well. Like, man, there's a hate bear, hate goblin. We love a good hate goblin. This thing is stupid. I like that a lot. Very silly for like a mono red stacks or just hate bears kind of card. Kin Binding. 3 and double white. Creatures get XX, where X is the number of creatures that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. And at your combat, you make a 1/1 green and white Kithkin creature token. So minimum, you go to combat, make the token, everything gets +1/+1, but then anything that has entered that turn gives your entire team that amount above. That is, I'm thinking Nahiri's Resolve with a card like this. Imagine everything comes in off of Nahiri's Resolve, gets the 1/0 and haste from the enchantment itself, and then this will track to see every single thing that entered and give all those creatures +X/+X. Silly. I think fixed Cathar's Crusade. You got it. Yep, precisely. I think that's very cool. If you are a deck that is able to just like pop out a huge amount of tokens all at once, but then have a large board of other creatures ready to start going to combat. Heck, this has double white in its casting cost in and of itself. That's fantastic for those white creatures that make you soldiers equal to your devotion to white. That'd be really silly. Also, that Kithkin token. Look at that. Somebody was looking for Kithkin. Here you are. Check out this green-white little guy. He's got his fish up there on the backpack, riding some kind of little goat thingy. Harabella. Yep, Joseph, you make a great point. Oh, look at that art. Look at this. Look at this weasel falcon thing. Isn't that cool? You wanted a legendary creature? Oh, there certainly will be. I mean, we saw art for Brigid. So, actually right here. Brigid, Down's Mind. So, no card officially revealed quite yet, but I'm sure we'll see her at some point. All right, let's take this thing. Glenalendra's Answer. 2 and double blue, instant, can't be countered, counters all spells your opponents control and all abilities your opponents control. And you make a 1/1 blue and black fairy with flying for each spell and ability countered this way. I mean, is this like... Okay, so I read a card like that, and it sounds like, oh crap, what's the card? There was a card, it was from Eldritch Moon. Yeah, it was a card from Eldritch Moon, and it did something similar to this. It was 4 mana, and it hit all spells and abilities on the stack. I can't remember its name, but this reminds me of that. That it also, this spell itself can't be countered, and you get a fairy for everything countered this way. Hitting abilities as well. That's... Yeah, I guess the floor is Mystic Snake. You're right. Yeah, a 1/1 that counters a spell. You are right in that regard. But yeah, imagine stopping every ETB that someone is doing. Like all the creatures pick up, all the creatures come back down into play, and then you get a fairy for every single thing countered. That's silly. I don't know if it's good, but I think it's powerful. I think it's got some good use to it. 4 is a little bit high of an ask, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, being able to stop abilities can probably put in some good work, I imagine. All right. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Wait. There we go. Okay. Riss the Evermore. This looked so interesting. 1 and a white, 2/2, flash. Enters, another target creature you control gains persist until end of turn. And then white tap, remove any number of counters from target creature you control. Activate only as a sorcery. I mean, that's powerful, right? Like, I'm not just the one flabbergasted by this. Like, mono white persist protection that you then get to be able to remove that counter or remove a counter from anything later? Like, hello? That's stupid good. Removes any type of counter. So you can pull finality counters, you can pull the minus counters, you can remove stun counters. Riss, I think, is going to see some... Riss is going to be something very fun. That's so interesting that they brought this character back for this set and didn't make him focused on elves or tokens in any capacity. That's very neat. I like that a lot. All right, moving on. So we have this guy here, one of the double-face ones. So you have to cast it for the green side. It's got Death Touch. Enters or transforms, mill 3. If there is an elf in your graveyard, you gain 2 life. Main phase, you can pay black, transform it. Transforms into, you mill 3 cards. Then you may exile an elf from your graveyard. If you do, each opponent loses 2 life and then can transform back to the side. I think it seems fine. This is okay. I mean, these transformable ones, I said this from the get-go when the Lorwyn, like, early previews, the number of months ago, first came out. These cards that transform back and forth with the paying a cost at your main phase, like, I think their biggest hindrance is that you don't have access to the excuse me, you don't have access to the Shadowmoor side immediately, right? Like, these are not modal double face cards. These are front face cards with a transformable side. So if you're looking to try to play around with this backside here, this back one, the black side with Death Touch that makes you, like, you can remove elves from your graveyard, like, you have to start on the green side, and that reads slow to me, I guess, but being able to flip-flop back and forth, I'm sure there's someone will be able to think of something fun to be able to do with that, but as it stands, I think these are probably some of the worst aspects of the set so far. They seem a little too slow. I understand what they're trying to depict with these kinds of cards, but just given the fact that you don't immediately have access to the backside makes higher emphasis on the front side, and to me, this front side does not read crazy interesting. I think I'm underestimating the grindy value engine. I get that. Like, I see here that, like, every time it flips back and forth. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm sure there's use for it. Maybe I'm not seeing it. I understand that's probably different from person to person, but I'm not seeing the value of it. Let's look at this Oko instead. So you have to play him on his blue side. Has the same thing that your first main phase, you could pay a green. If you do, you transform it. The green side has the same thing. At your main phase, you could pay blue. If you do, transform it. +2 on the blue side. Up to 1 target creature gains all creature types. Oh! Just gains all creature types. This effect doesn't end. Oh! You turn anything into a changeling. Oh! Fascinating. I didn't read that part. +1. Target creature gets 2/0 until end of turn. That's fine, I guess. Then Oko, the Shadowmoor side. -1. Mill 3 cards. You may put a permanent card from among them into your hand. -3 creates 2 3/3 green elks. And -6, choose a creature type. You get an emblem with creatures you control of the chosen type get +3/+3 and have vigilance and hexproof. Fascinating. Okay. So how do we manipulate being able to give a creature all creature types until end of turn? Oh, but look, this is so fascinating. So he comes in at 3 loyalty. You could do the +2 on the turn you play him. Your first main phase, you can transform it, but you don't have access to the 6. You notice on the green side, all his abilities are negatives. So if you want to go, like, uptick, you'd have to do another turn of upticking him and then transform him to be able to get to the -6 immediately. So, like, there's a play here somewhere of going Oko for 3, +2, give a thing, changeling. Then your next turn, another +2, another creature becomes a changeling. And then the turn after that, main phase, pay a green, he flips. You've got 7 loyalty on this Oko. Then you do the -6, choose whatever creature type you feel compelled to, and those things, at least, that you turned into changelings are +3/+3, vigilance, and hexproof. That seems fine. That seems good, honestly. You know, that you then, the turn after that, you pay the blue, send them back to the blue side, and either continue to shrink other creatures or turn other stuff into changelings. That's neat. It's a neat design for a Planeswalker. It's definitely better as a transformable Planeswalker than the Garruk that they tried doing as a transform one. So, very neat. Gotta be a spell or ability of the set that transforms on the spot, right? I'm not sure. Like, there might be something like that. I mean, the only spell in the game that has ever done anything like that is Moon Mist. And and that would even be a terrible one for this set as well, because as a reminder, Lorwyn has no humans. So maybe they make something new that allows you to transform, like maybe like a card of some kind that is showcasing like the Shadowmoor looming over, and like, oh, anything that has a transformable backside, it just auto transforms. That'd be interesting. I wonder if they maybe will make something like that. Curious Colossus, 7 mana, 7/7, enters. Each creature target opponent it controls loses all abilities, becomes a coward, and has base power and toughness 1/1. I'm in. That's so silly. Look at that. It's not even as it enters if you cast it. So that is some reanimatable, blinkable shenanigans right there. Didn't expect to see another dice golfer in here. I don't know. I don't know what that means, but oh, disc golfer. Oh, you guys disc golf. That's fun. I've never done. That sounds very fun. I should try that sometime. Joseph, next time I visit, we're going disc golfing, okay? Champions of the Perfect. We saw that already. Blah, blah, blah. Disruptor of Currents. Flash Convoke. And when it enters, returns up to one other target non-land permanent to its owner. There's a lot of Flash in this set. Did you guys see that? This is like our third card from this debut that has Flash. There's going to be a lot of playing off turn I'm seeing here. Playing off turn and being able to cast spells without your mana, right? With the inclusion of Convoke right here. Like this thing having Flash, this thing being an instant. So like there's going to be a lot of being able to, I guess this leans into the transformable cards that you were talking about, Joseph, whereas you take your turn, pay the costs to transform things over, because if you're playing other cards like these that you can play off turn, you can then spend your mana, some of it during your turn, to do the transformable flip cards, I suppose. Disruptor is nuts. Yeah, I like that. I like that one a lot. Distant Melody at instant speed. Yes, sir. Look at that. Obviously, it costs a little bit more. Distant Melody is, what, 3 and a blue? Am I remembering that correctly? So, for 2 extra mana, one of it being another blue pip. But, reminder, it literally says there with Convoke that creatures you tap while casting it pays for 1 or 1 mana of that creature's colors. So people forget that all the time when it comes to Convoke, that you can pay colored pips out of Convoke using creatures that share that color. So in a weird kind of way, if you've got 6 blue creatures down, token or non, in any capacity on your board, Harmonized Crescendo can be cast for free. And even if not for free, let's say you've got like 3 Merfolk down, that's still all the blue pips covered. And then you just need 3 of your lands, and ta-da, there's a draw 3 for 3. That's a great rate. I love that a lot. Look at this guy. Look at this dog. It's called Vibrance. So it's 5 to cast normally. Evokes for hybrids of red and green. If it enters, red was cast into it. It deals 3 to any target, so sick. That's a lightning strike. And if green, search for a land, reveal it, put in your hand, shuffle, and you gain 2 life. So a combination of lightning strike and Sylvan Scrying with a 2 life gain tack on top of that. Also, it's an elemental dog. Like, look, its paws are leaves. That's beautiful. I think this is my favorite art in the set so far. This good boy is gonna shock and drop anything that comes down into play. This is I'm putting it out as this is so far my favorite card. I love this little boy. Grub's Command. Kindred Goblin Sorcery. Oh, you're back? Welcome back, Bobbert. Do you want another look at Vibrance real quick? You want to take a look at Best Boy? Shocks, land fetches, is a 4/4. He's beautiful. We love him. We're taking a quick look over here then at this Grub's Command. Choosing 2 between either making a token of a target goblin, creature's target player control, get +1/+1 in haste, destroys an artifact or creature, or a target player mills 5 and then puts each goblin milled this way into their hand. interesting. So very, very goblin focused, obviously, as it would imply with Kindred Sorcery Goblin, but I like this. 5 mana is maybe, like, I don't know, is 5 mana to boost your board, give them haste, and destroy an artifact? Does that, like, it seems fine. If you're heavy in Rakdos Goblins, this is probably a fantastic piece, but maybe outside of that, I'm not sure. Might have some niche homes, but could be interesting. Vivid. This is very interesting to see this codified word right here. Being able to have a payoff for 5-color whatever. This very interesting. When it enters, X damage to target creature an opponent controls, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. Hey, who's ready to see a spike all of a sudden in Leyline of the Guild Pact? Like, having that down on turn 0 and then start playing stuff like this where the cards are checking themselves as 5-color, that's silly. Like, can you imagine turn 0 Leyline of the Guild Pact getting this on turn 2 and it is immediately going to be able to hit any creature your opponent controls for 5? What? I'm in. Dream Caesar, when it enters, you may blight 1. If you do, each opponent discards a card. That seems fine. You don't get to choose the card, so it's obviously not Thoughtseize 1/1, but, you know, I'm sure there's going to be use for throwing negative counters on a creature you control. Commander decks, again, we saw Ashling here. Elementals you cast from your hand have Evoke, and when you sacrifice a non-token elemental, make a token that's a copy of it. The token gains haste until end of turn, and you sacrifice that one unless you pay Wooburg. So, Evoke normally meaning that you have to sacrifice the creature if you've cast it by Evoke, but Ashling will say that if you do it by the Evoke, you get an immediate impulse token copy of it for the remainder of the turn, that it itself also is still abided by the sort of Evoke qualities unless you pay Wooburg into it at the end of the turn. So, neat. That's very cool. And then Anti-Ool. Ward of Blighting 2, so this forces the opponent to do Blight 2 to be able to target Anti-Ool, and whenever 1 or more negative counters are placed on a creature, draw a card if you control the creature. If you didn't control the creature, its controller loses 1 life. So I imagine that's what this deck is going to be focused on. It's a combination of if you put counters on your own creature, you're going to get cards out of it, and it's going to be synergistic pieces like that who care about the counters placed upon them, or as you start throwing them onto your opponent's creatures, they're going to be losing life as those things shrink as well. Very neat, very fun. Anti-Ool low-key speaks to me. Looking forward to the rest of the deck. Yeah, we'll be seeing more pieces out of that very soon. Artwork. Okay, let's take a look here. So was there anything? Disruptor, Meek Attack. So, yeah, 2 red, enchantment, 1 in a red. Put a creature card with total power and toughness 5 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. That creature gains haste at the beginning of the next end step. Sacrifice that creature. Okay, so how do we break that? Is that 0/0s? Like, what could we do that totals up to a total power and toughness of 5 that we could start cheating to play? Like obviously what this is depicting is a callback to Sneak Attack, but a power and toughness restriction as well. You kind of wish Meek Attack was white. Yeah, you know what? I think that actually would be a sick card for mono white, being able to cheat in like your soldiers and whatever, because they sit at a relatively lower power, you know? I agree. That would have been a sick white card, or at the very minimum, Boros. You know what I mean? I think there would be a sick deck there of some capacity of playing with a Boros card of some kind called Meek Attack. It's interesting. I guess we'll have to wait and see on what we can find at the combined power and toughness. Yeah, sends a card off into exile instead. Hey, yeah, here's this thing. Look at this. Straight up Bloom Tender reprint. Not only Bloom Tender reprint, but keyworded to have Vivid on it now instead. So now anything, I guess what they're going to do is anything that cares about the amount of colors among permanents that you have down in play, they're going to change that to say Vivid now. Because again, Bloom Tender is a reprint card. It was from the original Lorwyn set. It looks like it's mythic in this set, but it still does the same thing. So very nice to see it. We love a good Bloom Tender. It's always been one of those ones that creeps up high in cost. And even though it's going to be a mythic in this set, being a standard booster, I think, is going to help it a lot. Because, like, look at something like Crater Hoof from Dragons of Tarkir. You can get a Crater Hoof now for under $10, which is insane. So, like, a card like Bloom Tender is definitely going to drop after a set like this. So, be ready to scoop those up. We saw all of these. This borderless art is fantastic and cool. We love it. Wonder how that's going to affect the value on Bloom Tender. Looks like we'll have 2 print variants as well. At least, yeah. So, like, think about this when it comes to the main set. So, like, it's going to have a traditional frame. That traditional frame in foil as well. The collector booster, like, extended one where it's still the original frame artwork, but the original frame is cut away a little bit. That's called the collector booster extended. So it'll have that variant both in foil and non-foil. It'll have this version as well, both in foil and non-foil. And that might be it. So there's going to be at least 3 different frame versions of Bloom Tender openable from a variety of different packs. So, yeah, I imagine it'll drop. Excuse me. But yeah, these borderless arts are sick. Japanese treatment again. Oh, I guess here actually as well, by the way. It's got a Japanese version as well. Didn't even notice it was down here. So, I bet, oh, there's where that artwork was. I know Chase was all about that harmonized crescendo there. Meek Attack, Bloom Tender. Yeah, those look really nice. I really like this Bloom Tender. It's very, like, classic elf fantasy. I'm a big fan of that. I'll never see a card like this in my life. I tell you what, these Japanese art cards are so extremely rare. Might be your first pickup of 2026 for Bumbleflower. What, the Bloom Tender? It would make a good fit. Shocklands. Yep, we knew these. Double-sided. They've got the Lorwyn and Shadowmorph thing. Oh, look at that. Special guest Bitter Blossom doing the... It looks like it's doing like the paper layering thing where it's like different layers of the art layered with paper on top of itself. That's incredible. That's so good. Painter Servant. My guy, I have been looking to get a Painter Servant like forever. I've been wanting one for Lear for such a long time. And maybe might be my chance to finally get one. Which is, look at this paper craft monstrosity. That's just beautiful. I'm a big fan of this. And it's a scarecrow too. Painter Servant was in the original Lorwyn, I think. Yeah, that's why it's here. Duh. Oh yeah, that's just take this. Just take this in for a minute of just the style that they've been able to accomplish with these here. That's just beautiful. Crescendo as the buy a box, and Kin Binding as the bundle promo. Lovely. And I think that was the end of that. Okay. Well, Let's go to... Let's do that. Okay. So I think that's going to go ahead and do it for today for the debut premiere of Lorwyn Eclipsed. Over the course of this week, we're going to see all the remaining previews, including stuff from the main booster set, the commander decks, all that kind of stuff. Stay tuned to hear about all of that and more here on the MTG Thoughtcast. Thank you so much to everybody who came in and hang out with me during this reveal trailer, and we'll see you all again very soon for more discussion of all things Magic here on the MTG Thoughtcast. Have a good day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week, and I will see you all again real soon.